Life in Gaza has known many shadows. Long months of fierce combat tested everyone, yet the people showed incredible strength. They found ways to keep going. Every day was a challenge, but still, families held together. Children tried to find moments to play. The spirit of endurance was a quiet, steady flame. The markets, though sometimes sparse, were places of meeting. People shared news and offered comfort. Small acts of kindness became lifelines. A shared piece of bread, a few words of encouragement. Resilience was not a grand statement. It was found in these daily efforts. The will to see another day, to care for loved ones. Children, especially, found ways to adapt. Their laughter, though sometimes muted, could still be heard. They played games in the narrow alleys. They drew pictures of a brighter world. Their resilience was a powerful reminder. It showed the deep human need for joy. In the face of unimaginable hardship, communities in Gaza clung to their routines. Schools tried to operate, even if in makeshift shelters. Prayers continued, offering solace and a sense of connection. This enduring spirit, this refusal to be completely broken, is a profound lesson. The recent conflict left deep scars. So many lives were changed forever. Families grieved for loved ones lost. Homes were turned into rubble. The sense of security vanished. For many, displacement became a harsh reality. They had to leave their homes, carrying few belongings. They sought shelter with relatives or in crowded camps. The future was a vast unknown, filled with worry and pain. The human toll was immense. On all sides, there was suffering. In Gaza, communities struggled to cope with the scale of destruction. In Israel, families mourned civilians and soldiers. They worried daily for the return of hostages. The pain was not confined by borders. It touched countless hearts. Each loss was a personal tragedy. Each story was a reminder of the fragility of life. Empathy became a bridge, a way to connect with the sorrow of others. People in places like Jenin also felt the impact. Operations there brought fear and loss. Families fled their homes. The sounds of conflict echoed in their streets. Muhammad, a woman from the Jenin refugee camp, spoke of her fear. Her story is one of many, showing how ordinary people are caught in events beyond their control. Recognizing the widespread human cost is the first step towards healing. The pain of separation was a heavy burden. For Israeli families, the wait for hostages held by Hamas and other groups was agonizing. Days turned into weeks, then months. Each piece of news was met with hope and fear. The primary wish of many soldiers was the safe return of these individuals. This longing for reunion was a powerful motivator. It spoke of deep human bonds. It highlighted the value of every single life. The empty chairs at family tables were a constant, painful reminder. The exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners brought moments of relief. Families were reunited. Tears of joy mingled with tears of sorrow for those still separated. These brief moments of light were precious. They offered a glimpse of what could be. They showed that even in the darkest times, human connection can be restored. Each reunion was a small victory for hope. It was a whisper that peace, however distant, might one day be possible for all. This deep longing for loved ones to return home is universal. It transcends politics and conflict. Modern warfare is a confusing and chaotic space. The conflict in Gaza showed this clearly. Drones filled the skies used by all sides. They were eyes in the sky, but also weapons. Sometimes the sheer number of these machines caused problems. The electromagnetic spectrum became saturated. This led to communication breakdowns. It even resulted in tragic friendly fire incidents. Soldiers and civilians alike found themselves in a disorienting environment. This chaos is a shared experience. It reminds us of our vulnerability. No matter the technology, the human element remains central. Soldiers faced intense urban combat. They navigated densely populated neighborhoods. They dealt with hidden dangers like roadside bombs. Brigadier General Ohad Mauer of the Israeli Armor Forces spoke of this. He shared the emotional toll of leading soldiers in such conditions. The use of technology, like drones, aimed to reduce risks, but also created new challenges. The feeling of being constantly watched, the uncertainty of what might come from above. This shared vulnerability in the face of modern conflict can be a point of connection. The landscape of Gaza bore deep wounds after the fighting. Buildings lay in ruins, streets were scarred. Yet, amidst the devastation, the first signs of rebuilding began to appear. People started to clear the debris from their homes. They salvaged what they could. This was not just about physical reconstruction. It was an act of defiance against despair. It was a statement of intent to reclaim their lives. Each stone moved was a step towards a future. These efforts were often small and personal at first. A family working together to make a corner of their home habitable again. Neighbors helping to clear a blocked path. The desire to restore normalcy was strong. Even a small repair, a patched wall, could bring a sense of accomplishment. It brought a flicker of hope. Rebuilding is a slow process. It requires patience and immense effort, but it begins with these individual acts of determination. The international community also has a role to play in supporting these efforts. Aid organizations work to provide materials and expertise, but the true strength of reconstruction comes from the people themselves. Their knowledge of their communities, their commitment to their homeland. Rebuilding is more than just bricks and mortar. It is about restoring dignity. In times of crisis, the bonds between people often grow stronger. In Gaza, communities drew together. Neighbors who had lost everything found support from those who had little themselves. The spirit of cooperation became a vital lifeline. People shared food, water, and shelter. They looked out for each other's children. They offered a listening ear and a comforting presence. These acts of mutual aid were essential for survival. They showed the power of human solidarity. Local organizations and community groups played a crucial role. They worked tirelessly to distribute aid. They tried to provide basic services. Often these groups were made up of volunteers. They were ordinary people who stepped up to help their communities. Their dedication was inspiring. They navigated immense challenges to reach those in need. Their work demonstrated the importance of local leadership. It showed the strength that exists within communities, even when faced with overwhelming adversity. The challenges were enormous. Infrastructure was damaged. Resources were scarce. Yet people found ways to collaborate. They formed committees to manage shared resources. This cooperation was a practical expression of empathy. Empathy is the ability to feel what others feel. It is a quiet power. It can build bridges between people. After a conflict, understanding is deeply needed. It requires listening. Listening to stories that are hard to hear. Listening to people from different sides. Each person has a unique experience. Each voice carries a piece of the truth. To truly understand, we must open our hearts. We must try to walk in another's shoes even for a moment. The impact of conflict is felt deeply by families and communities. Homes are lost. Loved ones are mourned. Futures seem uncertain. Empathy allows us to connect with this pain. It helps us see the human faces behind the headlines. It reminds us that suffering is universal. When we empathize, we recognize our shared humanity. This recognition can begin to break down walls of suspicion and anger. It can create a small space for connection. Developing empathy is not always easy. It requires us to step outside our own perspectives. It asks us to be vulnerable. It challenges our preconceived notions, but the effort is worthwhile. When we understand someone else's pain or fear, it changes how we see them. It can soften hardened hearts. It can make dialogue possible. True peace is built on more than just the absence of fighting. It requires dialogue. It needs spaces where people can speak honestly, spaces where they can listen respectfully. This is not a simple task. The wounds of conflict are deep. Trust is often broken. But the search for peace must include these difficult conversations. It means bringing different voices to the table. It means acknowledging past hurts while looking towards a shared future. Ordinary people have a vital role in building peace. Their experiences, their hopes, their fears, these are all important. Peace processes can not only be for politicians and leaders, they must involve communities. They must include the voices of women, of youth, of all those affected by conflict. When people feel heard, they are more likely to invest in peace. They become active participants in shaping a better tomorrow for themselves and their children. Dialogue requires courage. It means being willing to listen to perspectives that challenge our own. It means speaking our truth without resorting to blame or hatred. It involves searching for common ground, even when differences seem vast. The lessons from Gaza are many. They are etched in the resilience of its people. They are found in the quiet acts of cooperation. They are whispered in the longing for peace. As we reflect on the recent conflict, a hopeful message must emerge. A message that encourages a different path forward. A path built on understanding, compassion, and a relentless pursuit of justice for all. The human spirit has shown its capacity to endure. Now it must show its capacity to heal and build anew. The journey towards a lasting peace is long and arduous. It demands more than just an end to violence. It requires addressing the root causes of conflict. It means ensuring justice and dignity for every individual. All voices must be heard and respected. The pain and grievances of all communities need to be acknowledged. This is the foundation upon which a shared future can be constructed, a future where children can grow up without fear, with opportunities to thrive. Hope is not a passive wish. It is an active commitment. It is the belief that a better world is possible, even when the present seems dark. This hope must fuel our actions. It must inspire us to support initiatives that promote dialogue. It must drive us to advocate for human rights and equality. It must encourage empathy and understanding across divides. Thanks for watching. Follow for more.